DC Fandome just happened yesterday, Saturday. And with that, we've seen 2 new trailers come out, amongst a whole bunch of other things that they've announced, I'm sure. But the biggest 2 things that I've seen, at least, were the Black Adam trailer.
For sure.
And the Batman with Robert Pattinson trailer.
Yeah. Thought that was your block. My niggas ran that. Them niggas big pussy. Pass me a Tampax. Selling that powwow. I got that anthrax.
I'm beginning to see the pitch that they gave to The Rock for his role as Black Adam in the DC universe, right? So like typically a main antagonist for Captain Marvel. So you coming into the Shazam franchise, typically, you know, from a standard superhero franchise setup, you just expect Black Adam to be a fixture in the monument to Captain Marvel and Shazam, right? It's more of the villain is a part of the protagonist story as opposed to having his own story. Typical comic book stuff, right? Black Adam doesn't seem to be that way. It seems like they're going to build him up as his own entity, have his own story, and have that collide with what we've seen in the DC universe so far. Okay. Which I like a lot better as opposed to what I was thinking, and The Rock just ends up in random DC mashup movies that end up sucking. This doesn't look like it's going to suck. That. It has high potential to suck because of who's making it, but right now I'm optimistic. What I saw from the trailer, I liked.
Hold that thought, because I'm going to ask you about that in a second. Explain to me, like I don't know anything about the DC universe, who and what Black Adam is.
I thought that's what I did. He's the main antagonist for Captain Marvel. He's the main villain for Captain Marvel. That's really all you need to.
Captain Marvel?
Yes, Captain. Oh, so yeah, let me give you a snafu of that. I guess that could have confused some people. Captain Marvel is a title that's shared in DC and Marvel, right? The reason why they don't call Shazam Captain Marvel in DC movies is to stop from the confusion of the Marvel property. If I'm not mistaken, Marvel owned it first, I believe. The first iteration, it's been so many iterations of Captain Marvel, but I think Captain Marvel of the Kree Nation was the first Captain Marvel. Then you've had Carol Danvers, you've had Monica Rambeau, you've had that's all in the Marvel universe, and then over there in DC, Captain Marvel is Shazam, the little kid says the words, turns into a superhero.
Got it.
Same title.
So Black Adam is essentially the antagonist of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So now explain why you think it has the possibility to suck.
Well, I mean, that's painfully obvious is because DC is making it, right? So like anything that gets me excited, the Flash movie, right? Like Flash movie, trailer looked good. Synopsis is great. There's just a problem, right? Everything that's happening in this movie is based off of a universe that you told me is no longer going to continue. So it's either A, going to be another throwaway decent movie for DC that they don't continue to build on, which makes no sense, or they will start to departure from the original feel of the film and make their own way, and we know exactly what happened with a Snyderverse-esque DC movie that Warner Brothers ended up trying to make a Franken movie out of. And we got Dawn of Justice, or Batman v Superman, right? So,
I'm tired of hearing the name of that.
There's amazing potential here for it to fall apart in The Flash, for it to fall apart in Black Adam. I think them casting The Rock as Black Adam gives them a level. It gives them a little cushion because God bless him. I love The Rock, right? I would go see a Rock movie probably about 8 out of 10 times. And the other 2 times I'll just watch him at home.
Okay.
But he's able to make god-awful movies sometimes, right? And so I do not put it above Warner Brothers or DC, or I guess now Discovery. I forgot all about that. Discovery being above saying, he's a good ticket for about $500 million, regardless if the movie's shit or not. Yeah. I think the quality argument is going to be had a little bit more on the Batman side of things as opposed to Black Adam. Black Adam's going to make a lot of money based on the anticipation, because we've been talking about The Rock being Black Adam for a while, for a long time. So, fingers crossed. I have some hopes for it, but. That one and Batman, I think, are going to be their attempt at resetting the DCU. Even though we'll see. We'll see what the connectiveness looks like, I guess. Okay.
So before we get into Batman, what did you think of the actual clip that was actually provided for Black Adam?
I liked that, with some of the quotes that they were putting in there, the hierarchy in the DC universe just changed, right? Like, again, just making you know that this is not going to be your typical villain. This is going to be a franchise, right? So this is going to be a character that should have some depth. It's a character that we should be able to have like deep origin stories on, right? If this is what you're giving me in the trailer, I'm expecting a lot. Which again could set me up for disappointment and missed expectations. But I liked that. A tale of a good trailer to me is that they show you just enough to make you want to see more, but they don't have to put the best fight scene from the movie in the clip to get your interest.
I mean, this was barely a fight scene.
You know what I mean? They don't have to put the best parts of the movie in the trailer to make you want to come see it. Quick cutout scene, say what you need to say, tell the people what you're dropping, and get out of there. That's a successful trailer. I think they did that. I think they did that for Black Adam.
From the clip I've seen, I saw more of The Rock saying how proud he was of this movie than actual movie.
It had less to do with that. And again, you got to think about the setting that they're releasing this in. This is almost like a Disney Investor Day. So they're talking to the audience directly, right, while giving you tidbits of the project. Again, I just didn't know exactly what to expect from a villain-driven movie. We've seen them do one with Joker. We've seen different attempts by Marvel to try to dig deeper on their villains. Some hit, some miss. I think this will be one of the more in-depth looks at, in terms of like character building for a villain that we've seen in a genre film. At least that's what I'm expecting. Okay. That's what I'm hoping for.
Okay. Now, going into Batman, first of all, Robert Pattinson as Batman still, for me at least, a little jarring. Doesn't hit.
You can't get away from Twilight guy being Batman. You just can't.
He's like this skinnier string bean version of him that I just can't. Like, when I think of Batman, I don't think frail Robert Pattinson.
Here's how I think they can fix it. Right? Like, from everything that we've heard about this movie, it is going to be a 2.5 hour long detective film. And that is a great start for a Batman movie, right? We've seen the Playboy Batman, George Clooney and Val Kilmer. We've seen the tactician, the OG, Michael Keaton. We've seen the Bruiser and the Brute and the deep voice and Christian Bale. We haven't really gotten to the expert mind of Bruce Wayne, right? The hyper intellect of Bruce Wayne, the ability to kind of run a million different scenarios at once to come to a conclusion faster than most human beings are able to do, right?
That's arguably one of his superpowers.
You know, that's Batman, right? Not just buying everything. Of course, he's a billionaire, philanthropist, or whatever. But what fucking superhero isn't at this point? Batman's standout is that his ability to prepare for all eventualities keeps him from having to have superpowers. So dig into that. You know, do that. I don't even think this is. I believe the synopsis put it within the first 2 years of him becoming Batman. So this is a relatively new guy. Maybe we'll see some lumps. I don't think it's necessary to have any large scale villains or anything like that. It will take a masterful pen to make me excuse the lack of physique. It was apparent. I don't think that will completely ruin the movie.
Okay.
I just think that they have to make sure that all of their T's are crossed, their I's are dotted, and make sure that we're telling a compelling story to try to take people's attention away from that. You're talking to comic book fans, right? We're not. This is not necessarily your indie crowd, indie film crowd. This is not. We're not looking for exposaic, deep diving, emotional feel. I want to see him break faces and solve crimes. That's what Batman is. So as long as they've meshed their storytelling with the tone and the vibe of what Batman is supposed to be, I think it'll go well. Robert Pattinson is not a bad actor.
No.
I just don't know if he can be a superhero.
I don't know if he can be Batman specifically.
I think we'll see.
For a lot of people, it's probably going to be tough to put away the Dark Knight trilogy in comparison to this one. Does the new reboot have to do anything? And I think you kind of already answered it. Do they have to do anything specifically to kind of distance themselves away from?
I don't think they'll have a hard time doing that. Number one, it's been like 10 years, since Dark Knight Rises. I think people are ready for a Batman reboot. I know a lot of people like Affleck and would have liked to seen his iteration go forward. But that just tells you that people are ready for a new Batman franchise in general as well. So I don't think they have to do anything extraordinary. I mean, it from what we've gotten already in I think it's now 2 trailers that have been released for Batman. It's a night and day difference. So, I mean, that can be a good thing or a bad thing because the Dark Knight franchise was fairly successful. So, we'll see. Yeah, man, Pattinson's got some proving to do.
Yes.
With being as, against the superhero culture in Hollywood as he is, don't want to work out and doesn't think he has to or anything like that to play a good Batman, but we'll prove it to me. Show it to me. I'll believe you if it's decent.
Okay. All right. Last question about that is, where do you think Robert Pattinson could go in the hierarchy of Batman, at least as a recent?
That's hard to say, man. I will say he's one of the more talented, like pure actors, one of the pure thespians out of that group between... I mean, that's a packed group. You got Christian Bale, Kilmer, Michael Keaton, even going back as far as Adam West, George Clooney. But he's more of a... I feel like he's more of a cerebral actor than some of those other guys. Some of those guys are pretty guys, right? So you put them in the suit, it works. George Clooney mainly. You know what I'm saying? But... with Pattinson, I do think he showed his acting depth really well outside of what he's got going on here with Batman. So I like him as an actor. I just haven't been convinced just yet about him as a superhero. But that's what the movie is for.
Hey! Where y'all going? Where y'all going?
Thanks for watching another Back of the Bus Squad episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Want to check out another episode related to this? Go ahead and click that video to the left.
And if you want to catch up on some of our other episodes, make sure you click the playlist below.